All right. Hello, ladies and gents, boys and girls, folks at home. Today is episode 95 of the For Life podcast. Another lockdown episode. Yes, two. We're giving you two this week. Although it does depend. We'll have to see how long it takes me to edit these episodes. Hopefully, it shouldn't take too long. But here today we have Conor Hannum, the guest host, co-host.
Hello. Coming to you live.
And of course,
5 minutes away from where Dan lives.
you know the other co-host, me, Danny Boy.
We're like so close we could literally touch. We're like that SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs meme where they're in the clouds.
Yeah, I know.
And like reaching our arms up together.
It's
so
it's
close
funny
yet so far away.
Yeah, you can probably see with I've sent you a photo of how it looks, but yeah, it's kind of like that with the way we look on screen.
Yeah, because
right
we can
now,
be like,
just
am
the
I
two
on
of us
this end?
next
Am
to
I
each
looking
other,
at you
so,
now? Am I looking at you from this end? Like, is that it?
Yeah.
Is that where you are?
Yeah. If I look that way, and you look the way you're looking,
Yeah.
it looks like we're trying to touch each other.
Yeah, I can just
I love you, homie.
kind of touch. I mean, don't tell me we can't. Like, or I'm not saying we should do this, and I'm not saying people should do this, but
Okay.
I said it yesterday. I've been doing the fitness, doing the hour fitness. Don't tell me you can't go to the beach at the same time, and we just happen to be like, oh, hello. Like, that must be a thing people are doing.
Yeah. Because you can be with one other person to exercise, can't you?
One other person,
Right.
and
so
social distancing.
So it sounds like you're proposing beach beers.
No, not at all. No, I wouldn't break lockdown. I wouldn't break
That's
lockdown.
not breaking lockdown.
Dude, people.
Isn't that exercise?
How are you gonna drink? How are you gonna drink with a mask on?
Oh shit. That's okay. Yeah, you got me there.
That's the issue.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And people are, and like, you know, God bless them. Like, I'm glad they're doing this. So people are like, they're quick to adopt these days. We've seen it on we're on like a community page on Facebook. People have been naming and shaming, and I'm kind of all for it. If you want this to end, we have to start wearing masks more. Like, you know.
Yeah, well, a friend of mine
works
at the Bottle-O, as you know, and he has had to turn a few people away because of they're not wearing masks.
Yeah.
He said, he was like, look, it's the rules, it's the law, you know, nothing we can do, nothing I want to do, frankly. It's one of those, man.
I've seen a lot of people wear them,
has
though.
to happen, doesn't it? Gonna put
Yeah,
the lights on.
These walks on the beach have been like hell. I hate fitness
So
as it
is that
is.
what
I'm
you've
trying to
been
get into
doing?
it, but with a mask as well. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I'm at home all day,
Yeah.
apart from the rare time where I have to leave for like maybe 10 minutes to go grab something. I'm at home all day with my parents. I just want a bit of space, but like I'm not even enjoying it because like I hate fitness and I hate like I get we have to wear the mask. I'm 100% for it. 100% for it. Wear a mask. We don't mask shame here. But God, it's annoying when you're trying to do fitness.
Well,
It's so
it is annoying
stuffy.
because I recently ordered a bunch, so I'll do a bit of a mask.
Oh, you got them to
showcase
show
for you.
off.
So yeah, I got so I've got this one,
Hey.
which is the camo. I made a joke when it arrived.
How
I was
dare
like,
you?
I was
How
like, I
dare
ordered
you
a
go
bloody
out not
mask
wearing
and
a
they didn't
mask?
even ship anything. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I go out, people say that man's not wearing a mask.
They're like, sir, we can't serve you. You're not wearing a mask. Surely you get that
Exactly.
all the time. I actually got
Well,
something
these
as well
only
today,
just
Dan.
arrived today. These only just arrived today. So I've got the camo. I've got three. I'm gonna do a bit of a. What do you think of this one?
Yeah.
So camo, I got my purple. I think that's kind of nice and stylish. I
it.
thought it would be a bit darker, to be honest, but that's okay. It's quite a nice. I like this one.
I'm surprised they arrived so quickly.
And then I got. Yeah, I know they were supposed to arrive Thursday, but yeah, they got here a day early. And then I got
That's
my Simpsons lemon tree one.
Ah, the
So-
old meme.
Yeah. Tell you what, it's an interesting world out there, and they're gonna get a lot of use because tomorrow I actually have to use them, like properly.
Yeah. Dan,
I'm
before you
working
get
tomorrow,
into
which is
that, sorry,
Yeah.
I hate to cut you off, but I need to get my drink, and I've been waiting to show I went and got some Guinness today because we can't
Oh,
go
I
to the
love
pub. So I got some.
That's classic.
I got a 6-pack.
How it
and
should
I've
be.
got a pint. I got a pint glass.
Oh.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but
That's beautiful.
we can't go to the
No,
pub.
no,
We
that's
can't
great.
Get a pint of Guinness. So I said yesterday.
I don't know if you noticed, but I
I'd do it.
actually shaved today. I'm trying to get a little bit of normalcy back in my life.
I can't tell because you're like a pixel right now. But I'm sure it looks great, man.
Yeah, fair enough. You actually look okay. You look better today than you did yesterday. So
yeah, the connection seems to be better today, which is
knock on wood.
Which is good because fuck, yesterday it was pretty damn bad. There you go, lads.
Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. We love to see it.
So you're at work tomorrow, is what you're trying to say?
Yeah. So basically tomorrow, they called me today, and I'm contracted for a certain amount of hours, and they basically cheers. I'll cheers you, and I'll cheers the audience. Basically, I was contracted for a certain amount of hours to work this week, and initially what they said was, "Oh, don't worry, you know, we'll pay you to stay home, and we'll pay you your minimum contracted hours. Like, don't go out." But they worded it, even from the beginning, they did word it sort of sneakily because they said non-essential shifts are being cancelled. So even from the get-go, I was like, well, I don't think any of my shifts are essential. And then it said if you might need to cover work in supported accommodation, because the thing is that usually what I do is take people who have a disability out into the community, but some of them live in like a share home, and in those instances they need people there. They can't just be on their own. So obviously that is classed as like truly essential, and because I'm contracted, they're gonna have to pay me anyway. They're like, well, if we have to pay them, we may as well get them in to actually do something. So tomorrow,
well, surely that means that things are going back to normal, you know, because we've got zero cases 3 times in a row. I think that means because Mitchell's going to work next week. He was called off as well. I've been working from home. I haven't been going out to the job we've been working at last week. It must mean things are going back to normal. Surely, though.
Yeah, I think that was also part of it, was that they realized that because things aren't as bad, it's like maybe less of a risk. I don't know if that's what that went into their choice, but they didn't seem so stressed to get me work. And then today they was like, okay, we want you to go somewhere. So it's kind of like, oh, that's freaking annoying. But it is what it is. You know, it's got to be done. And I think as much as the way I looked at it is that just before we went into lockdown, I had the show, and just I was stressing over work, and there was a lot of things going on that just meant I really needed a break. And so having even just Monday and Tuesday and today totally off from work and just being able to relax and chill and just stay home, I think has been what I've needed, and I think that's been really good for me. So I'm glad I got what I got, you know, but I also worry because like I think I was starting to slip into that kind of lockdown, like not lockdown depression, but just lockdown mood where you're just not going to get anything done and you're being lazy and you're eating all the time. And so I didn't want to slip into that too heavily either. So I think it's probably for the best.
Well, we have been told that because, like I said, we've had 0 cases for 3 days now. They've said to us, it's a big if, because if we get another 2 days with no cases, lockdown will end.
Yeah.
There'll still be restrictions. We still have to wear masks. There's going to be, limited capacity. I believe we'll still be able to go to the pub, I think. A thing today. I don't know. Maybe we won't be able to go to the pub.
Yes, so his daily briefing today was interesting. He basically said, if we go till Friday without any cases, obviously that's fantastic. That'll be great. But if that happens, then he said we can end the lockdown, but there may still be other restrictions in place. So it might go back to what it was like at the start, where like as in our initial wave of COVID, where if you want to go to the pub, you can go, but it's like 50% capacity, and you have to make a booking, you know, for only 2 hours at a time and that sort of stuff. I would imagine it's probably going to have restrictions like that. I don't know. We'll have to find out.
He says it has to go on for 14 days of no cases, which is a lot to ask for, considering...
Well, I think he was saying 14 days of no cases to go back to what we had.
Yeah, so hopefully we can go back to that. But that's a lot. Again, that's a big that's a big if. Like, if we do that, it's still,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I don't know, but hopefully, fingers
No,
crossed.
that's right.
You know, but didn't Mitchell say he said when he got his test, they said it took up to, it could be 24, 48, or 72 hours until you get your results. So doesn't that mean results could be coming in around now-ish?
What, for
results be coming
people who've
left,
been
right, and
positive?
center.
Potentially. And that's the thing, is that it is surprising that we've gotten to a Wednesday with no community cases, and hopefully that continues tomorrow and Friday. But yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what happens.
I hope we don't go back to that whole 2-hour booking thing. Like, I think Mitchell was saying that you could go to the pub. It was like, do you remember that time I went down the pub with Johnny in like March, and it was like only inside was 100 people and outside was fine? I think it might be like that.
Yeah.
But we have to wear a mask when we go in. Remember that? It was the day before the pubs got shut down.
Yeah, well, that's
We
another
went down
thing
with
too.
Johnny.
And that's part of the reason we ordered like the nice masks, was because there's no telling how long masks will be mandatory for. I have, like, just to give you an example, tomorrow I have an 8-hour shift, kill me, from 8 till 4, and tomorrow I'm going to take 2 masks so I can, wear one for most of the day. And then if one gets a little bit moist, or if it gets a bit like, because you breathe into it and that builds up shit, then I'm probably going to try and swap it halfway through the day,
It's kind of nice, like, because I don't like leaving my house. I'm quite agoraphobic. I don't like talking to people. There is something really nice about going to the beach or just a walk and having this, like, I feel like I'm in like what's it called? What's it called on the when you're on a browser and you go incognito? What's it? The
incognito.
That's it. I feel like that because I'm wearing a hat.
Yeah.
I'm wearing glasses. I got a mask on.
Yeah.
I almost feel like I can freely walk without anyone knowing who I was. Like, I went to Bunnings today, and I was like, this is good. Like, I feel like I don't have to stop and have a conversation with someone if they see me, because have you tried to talk to someone with a mask on while you're wearing one? It's like really difficult. I went to get a pizza just then, and it was like so difficult. He was like, you wait 5 minutes? I was like, you want me to wait 5 minutes? And he was like, yeah. I'm like, 2 minutes?
Oh, God.
5
it just
minutes?
muffles you. It makes it so much harder to talk, yeah.
In the end, I was like, okay, I'll wait 5 minutes and wait outside. And I was like, I don't know if that's what he was trying to say to me, but I was just like, okay, I'll go and wait outside 5 minutes, because I was like, I don't know what he's trying to say to me. Like, it's good, but it's also stopping social interaction on walks. And I'm all for that, because I'm not there for a chat.
Yeah.
You get a small nod to someone, or a quick wave, or a thumbs up, and that's it.
That's right.
And it's bliss, and I love it.
That's all you need, isn't it?
I don't want to be there chatting to someone. I even wear mine in my car. I feel like you can't be too careful. You don't even have to, unless there's someone else in there with you, but still.
Yeah, it's an interesting. I think that our approach has been so extra cautious. Like, part of why we locked down. Well, when we locked down, part of what people had to be cautious of was these COVID exposure sites. So, like, where the guy who had it had traveled, and essentially the idea was, if you had been to that place, you have to get tested, because. And the thing is, it doesn't even sound like those places there was any necessarily like exposure to the guy himself, but it sounds like they were using the logic of, well, if he touched the surfaces and that sort of thing, it might have still stayed on the surfaces. So
yeah, and it got someone else infected. Yeah,
because it sounds like they've spoken to all of his contacts, like all the people he spoke to, and
I think it was that as well.
There's been a lot of negative tests from people he saw. So
yeah. I think they also were like, so where did all your friends go? And that's why the list of places was so big. Because I think it was like, okay, but then you were staying in this house with this many people. Then where did they go? And it was like this and that. I got to say, I'm pretty shocked there isn't any. But
I'm pretty shocked too.
Again, hopefully it's just by precaution,
Yeah, I will just say the craziest thing about this whole experience is just the amount of like how unexpected this lockdown was. Like, if you'd asked me Saturday night, it wouldn't even have been on my radar. I wouldn't even have been thinking about it. It would have been like, that wouldn't happen here. And then
at least
Sunday night,
we're good enough
locked
to be
down
like,
just like that.
You gotta like how though I do love how the government, as much as it's annoying, But I do love how they were just like, good old Mark was just like, that's it, shut the whole fucker down. It's a fucking lockdown.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
just like, that's it. Like, just lock it down. And man, like you can see in other places, other countries around the world, you can just see they didn't do that, and look what happened.
It's a fucking lockdown.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I was hoping you'd hit that. I mean, you've seen how bad it can get. Look at the UK, for example. When you leave it too long, it can just cause nothing but problems.
Well, the crazy thing about the UK and America's, well, similar. I think worse, but just, I mean, they're both in the shit. But the interesting thing about the UK and America is that I don't know exactly about the UK, but I know in America, they're pretty much too far past the point of like, they can't even contact trace it anymore. Like, it's so
literally no
out there and just everyone's getting it. There's no way to contact trace it. Testing is obviously good, but they're getting so many tests. There's no way to contain it properly. And as far as I understand, it's similar to that in the UK. And that's not a good place to be in. At least where we're at, we have a sense of control. And the crazy thing too is that, like, I suppose once the case came in, he shut down the borders, but this potentially could be like our lowest week of cases for a while, because we only had the one community case, and then we didn't get any hotel cases, like hotel quarantine, because we weren't taking anyone in. So
no one's in,
even though we locked down, it's like it still had a very positive impact.
That's what scares me. I mean, imagine if we get back to the state that we were on Saturday night. Like, we were just fine and no one thought it was going to happen. I'm just so worried this is going to be a regular thing this year, where randomly it goes, boom, lockdown, 5 hours. That's the scary thing, and that's the thing that could happen a lot this year. And
Well,
I hope to God it doesn't, though.
What's good is that it seems like what happened was not particularly random, in the sense that, it's I haven't read too much, but it sounds like the guy who did it, the security guard, he was quite a young chap, and he wasn't
wearing a mask either, so.
Well, I wasn't wearing a mask, but he also, and I'm sure, obviously, that wouldn't happen again. I'm sure, if anything, I'm sure all the security guards are going to be wearing masks from now on. But he wasn't making a lot of money, which is why he had to work other jobs, which is what, sort of increased the places he went and all that. And so it just sounds like there was a little bit of mismanagement going on with the whole hotel quarantine system. And maybe there was a little bit of complacency. Maybe they got a little bit cocky and said, oh, we're healthy, we're fine. We don't need to take as many precautions. And, you can only hope that something like this, an event like this, as hopefully as small as it is, only 5 days, hopefully that kicks everyone's ass and says, okay, we actually need to be a bit more vigilant going forward,
Yeah. I saw the news. It was like, we spoke to his family and he is feeling sad and upset.
Yeah,
about
I
what
saw that
happened.
too.
But it's like,
very regretful.
Imagine, literally, like, look, we all fuck up, but this is like a huge virus that's killing literally millions of people. Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
This bloke was like, when everyone on God's green earth clearly didn't care that much. And look, I'm not trying to say that we shouldn't feel a bit bad for him, because like, he's obviously, imagine in your head right now, you've locked down the whole state. That's a huge thing.
Yeah.
It's a massive thing. You'd be so upset. You'd literally be like, fuck.
But that's what I mean. Like, I think they should have been paying these security guards more, because I mean, should have paid them more and said, okay, all right, you don't need to go grocery shopping. Just get the like Woolworths delivery or whatever the fuck, like, they should have paid them enough that they could do all the things that they needed to do to be able to travel as little as possible,
Yeah, it's a pretty big job, obviously. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, Champ Chong had this idea. Yes, Champ Chong. He said that he said, because he lives in Perth, he's like, I think it's a good idea to maybe give like the security guards almost like FIFO shifts, where like you go in for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You do like a 2-week stint, and then you go off and you get paid to be off. But it's just safe, but you have to get constant COVID tests.
Yeah.
Exactly. You get a quarantine, but it's like, it stops the spread.
No, I think so too.
I think that's a good idea. It won't happen, but But it's
Well,
like
maybe it will. Maybe
WH literally-
maybe the image of lockdown
it's
and
like
all
hell on
that
earth
sort
at
of
the
shit
moment.
will make people go, okay,
Yeah,
well, shit,
maybe.
we do not want this
Maybe.
happening again.
Uh-oh.
Like, this is
Connection
worst case
issues.
scenario.
As we always love it.
Oh, I can still hear you. So, and your paused face is not that bad this time.
Oh, great.
So there
Yeah, I
you
was
go.
really worried about that.
You're pretty pixely, but you're back.
I'm
so
not-
that's
I'm not excited to see the first one from what was it? What was it yesterday?
yeah, a couple of interesting freezes throughout, but
God's sake.
that's all right. Tonight you're looking.
You're
a lot
lucky
more
that
crisp.
you're lucky you get a beautiful HD camera recording
Yeah,
you
I
in
know.
1080.
I'm recording from the
this
studio,
shit.
so there's no lag for me. But yeah, you get some interesting.
I don't know why in my head I pictured it would be like a crystal clean, well not crystal, but pretty good.
It is sometimes in good quality. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, I hope so. I mean, that's what I wanted to ask you about this before.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the bushfires in a minute, but a little bit
God.
lighthearted. My job one of my jobs at the studio is to do the buttons, Dan. Like,
Right.
how do you
yeah.
feel being the man who has to take over my job?
Yeah, I know, there's-
you're not really smashing the buttons, are you? Like, I'm constantly on the
No.
bras, having a good time.
Well, if it
Yeah, I don't know. It's
It's quite a job.
it is quite a job. I'm trying here. It's you got to pay attention a lot, and I got to say it's this setup is like easier and harder, I guess, because I don't have to do any camera changes now, which is good. That's
Right.
saving me a lot of time. But then it's because I'm normally used to doing with my right hand is what I do the cameras, and the left hand I either drink or I do whatever.
Yeah.
So my left hand's just not used to pressing the buttons and all this, and so
Oh, the buttons.
plus, and I'm sure you would know this because you do the buttons more, but you actually know where the buttons are, like without necessarily always having to check. Whereas I kind of
sound
know,
lad.
but I don't know them as well as you do. Whereas I do know where the cameras are without having to check. So it's kind of that flip,
Yeah.
like that shared responsibility that we have. But that's lockdown episodes, isn't it? It makes it fucking
No, but
harder.
I like how we got our own. I like being the sound lad. Dan, can you please, just for lockdown's sake, can you hit me please with can you please hit me with a will? I need to hear the will. It'll be on the first page at the bottom.
Gotcha.
First page at the bottom.
There you go.
Yes, that's what we like to hear.
Are we in lockdown?
Yeah.
Are we going to come
Down
out soon?
straight.
I hope so.
Thank you. Thank you.
disagree.
Thank you so much, Will. Yeah. You heard it from Will first.
Yeah.
WA is going out of lockdown
Yeah, I
on
hope
Friday.
So. I hope so.
It is
this is
happening.
how I went.
Yes. Well, like I said, WA is literally, it's hell on earth at the moment. I spoke yesterday about fires. Well, we both did. There's been 71
so
destroyed
the fires
homes.
are even worse today, and that's just the craziest part.
71. 71 destroyed. Insane. And they're
Jesus,
also
71
confirmed
homes.
there has been 10,000 hectares of land burnt. Insane.
You know what I felt really bad. I listened to old Mark's press conference today, or his daily briefing or whatever, and he spoke
Yeah.
about fires, and he said, like, even though it's locked down, like, if you need to leave, you leave. And it just made me feel so bad about anyone who's like, their freaking streets burning down. They're like, oh, but it's locked down. Can I leave? Like,
That's the craziest thing. You're told not to leave your house
Yeah.
unless it's burning down. Like, unless it's burning. And it's like,
yeah. You
all
can
these
leave the
people are
house
wearing
for
masks,
groceries,
like-
exercise, and fire.
and I've been hearing horrible stuff about looting and robbing. People are going through the houses
Yeah.
after people have left.
Yeah, I've heard
it's
that
insane.
too.
Like, what kind of fucking scumbag? Awful.
And the other thing, obviously, this is one of the lower things to worry about, but those burglars are also then risking their life, because if they don't get out in time, they could burn down with the house. Like,
Yeah.
so there's all sorts of trouble, to be honest, and yeah, I just who knew 2021 could be more chaotic than 2020 off the bat,
Well, I just hope, because last year for us was pretty, I wouldn't say breezy with COVID, but it wasn't anywhere near as bad as other people. Let's just hope that this year isn't our year to have the, COVID strikes back, as I'm calling it. I just hope that we don't have like a return of the COVID. We need a new hope right now. I don't want this to be the WA's year of awful COVID strikes.
Well,
you know?
I think it will, but I will just say, and this is something that I've only just gotten an alert about, but I saw it a little bit earlier tonight. Victoria has
I saw this.
tightened their restrictions because same thing, a hotel quarantine worker tested positive. And it says here hundreds of people at the Australian Open will need to isolate. So maybe the hotel worker went to the bloody tennis.
Oh, for God's sake!
That's the thing, man. They don't really have that part of it under control. But I mean,
complacent though, and that's what I was scared about.
Yeah, people are
complacent.
But at the same time, you'd rather be in a place where you can be complacent than, again, in places like the UK or America where you're constantly in fear, of what the fuck's going to happen.
Not wrong. I mean, but we just got complacent. Like, look at us on Saturday night. We're like, last thing that will happen is a lockdown,
Yeah. I mean, one thing that I'm very glad about is that, part of the reason we have this strict lockdown and part of what we had before we went into lockdown is like actually a return to normal. Whereas in a lot of places in the UK and a lot of places in America, especially with like TV, and the way they're producing TV, it's like they're not going back to normal, and they might never go back to normal. They have to figure out this weird new like COVID normal thing, and that fucking sucks.
It's becoming more and more like normal. Like I went upstairs today and I just turned over TV quickly and it went to I don't know, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire or something. But they had this guy on and he was like they were asking about his job and he was like, yeah, I was doing this, but then COVID happened, and I'm like, man, you can't escape it. Even in TV, like there'll be people discussing their jobs and talking about COVID. There'll be TV shows like that have been written, like probably written in COVID storylines. Like, there's been movies that have been made about COVID. Like, where's this? If Chris Chibnall doesn't write a COVID joke in the next Doctor Who script for season 13, I will eat my hat. He'll make. Why didn't the Doctor come and stop COVID? How about that? That's a shitty take.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, a lot of the just all the COVID stuff. I mean, it's interesting because I wonder if there will be that much COVID stuff just because everyone's going to be so exhausted from COVID and so tired of it. I think TV producers probably want to make stuff to let people escape from that.
Yeah, the escapism.
And what I'm worried about is that but a lot of COVID related content, I can guarantee will be so cringe. Like just unbelievably cringe.
I don't know if you sorry, we broke up a little bit there.
You're right.
You're good?
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but they're currently shooting 4-4 Love and Thunder right now in Sydney. So
the new Thor movie.
Yeah, so like all the Guardians are in it. So like Chris Pratt's over there. Obviously Hemsworth's over there. Natalie Portman's over there.
So are they filming it there because it's safer than filming it in?
Oh well,
in America?
No, they shot the last 4 in Australia.
Oh, did they?
So they're like, oh, win-win, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Taika had
Well, I suppose Taika Waititi would be more used to that. Hey.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, surely Taika was just like, yeah. So they're in Sydney right now.
But
man, I can't even think about the restrictions of like how the hell do you have a film set with COVID? Like, I don't know how they. I don't know.
Well, but that's a big plus with Australia and with being potentially in a place where we can be more COVID or more free and have less restrictions, because it means things like film and concerts and shit can come to us first and we can get it here in Australia. And that's good for our economy, that's good for our cultural exports, good for jobs. Like that sort of stuff is a plus. And look, I mean, it's beneficial because obviously we, our government's handled the virus pretty well. But yeah, it's just, it's going to be such a long, lasting effect and impact on the world. Like, I don't know, like at this point, it's hard to even imagine when like New York goes back to normal, you know, or like London,
Yeah,
or
I
like
know.
when London goes back to being ordinary London. Like these big ass cities that you revere and you think of as like, wow, that's so amazing. You see in TV shows.
Yeah.
It's weird to even think that they will go back to normal at some point. I don't know when that will be. It's kind of scary to think that they might not ever go back to the way they were.
I wonder if the cinema suffered enough. Now I wonder if when will we be able to go back to the cinema again? Like, do you think that's gonna be a thing? Like, I don't know. If
What, the cinema? Yeah, I mean, we could go
I
to
don't know.
the cinema, so we could go before lockdown. Hopefully, it opens up again. But
That's what I mean, though. Do you think we'll be able to go still after this?
well, what's good about what Mark said is he did say extra restrictions for another week or so. So it sounds to me, even if there is restrictions like the ones at the pub and all that stuff, it will
It just
only
won't last.
like the
Yeah, unless it
lockdown
gets
will be
worse.
for 5 days, and then for another whatever it takes to get to 9 days, it'll be or another 10 days, there'll be like some restrictions, and then I think after that, if we're lucky, we'll just go back to the way things were before that. Which, for anyone who doesn't know,
hopefully.
in West Australia, we pretty much were back to normal. Like
Yeah.
we pretty much had total freedom. There were only a few restrictions here and there when it came to like capacity of venues and live performances. And like, you know, that included sport and
Well, even
theatre
half
and
capacity,
music.
man. Like, me and Mitch went to go see the cricket. It was like
Yeah.
25,000 people.
Yeah,
And that's half
crazy.
capacity, though. But that's
Crazy.
25,000 people. Like, come on, that's a lot of
Yeah.
people. Like, that's
Yeah.
half capacity for our Optus Stadium. So it's like, come on, like, we'll have to be like Mark going to see the Dark Knight. Remember when he did that? He went to go see the Dark
yeah.
Knight. He went to rewatch.
They were playing the reruns or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, we should go support it more. Go see more reruns and stuff. Like,
Yeah. Well,
nothing
like,
huge is going to come out.
there's been the cricket. We went to the footy. I think Mitch has gone to the footy a few times. Mitch went to that music concert, the festival. So there have been like massive events here in Australia, in WA, and none of it led to anything bad. You know, like there was no consequences, there was no cases, and if we can get back to that, that is amazing, and that is like the privilege of living where we live. But yeah, it's no guarantee, and I think this whole ordeal is a good reminder that as good as things get, it can always, you know, go away like that in a heartbeat.
I'm really proud of us though. Like, I'm really proud of WA. Like, I think, I don't know, I've seen a lot of kids not wearing masks, and I feel like they're just the classic, like, you know, like, oh, why should we wear a mask? That's lame. Like, I see a lot of people,
it's only up to
kids
12.
not
You
wearing
have
them,
to.
but, you know. Is that right? Because
Yeah,
I saw a
so-
kid today at the beach, and I was like, why is he the only one not wearing one?
Yeah, so it's only I think it's only mandatory over 12. I mean, I think they can still wear one if they're under 12, but yeah,
Right.
it's only mandatory to wear a mask if you're over 12. The other
Okay.
reason, I think partly that's because of like, obviously it's harder to breathe with the mask, so you don't want to put kids in danger. But I think that's also
it
because
is.
kids are a bit less likely to catch it and spread it and that sort of thing. So
Yeah. I mean, well, you can't walk yet, can you? We have to walk tomorrow. We have to walk tomorrow because you have to go to work. Like, have you gone on a walk yet?
no, so tomorrow I don't know how much I'll be walking around, because the thing is that I can't take anyone out to the community. So I'm doing like I said, at supported accommodation, which means that I'd probably just be walking around a house all day. So I don't think I'm going to be doing that much exercise anyway. We'll see, but I don't know. My foot should be fine to deal with it, but it's just it's a question of like I won't be doing a lot of movement. So to be honest, I probably
Yeah,
it's
well, that's good at least.
part of the reason I was so annoyed when they offered it to me. And I could have taken the day off, and depending if tomorrow's really shit, maybe I'll take Friday off. But it's just so, I know it's going to be so boring. I can just tell it's going to be so
Yeah.
fucking boring. Not because of like lockdown stuff. It's just because there's nothing to do. I can't take them anywhere. And I've never worked in this house that I'm going to go work at. And I don't normally do house shifts. I do my whole job is community support worker. So I'm used to going out to the community. And when I'm just going to be stuck in the house, it's going to be so boring. I don't know any of the staff. I won't know any of the people who live there. So it's going to be weird, but I'll get through it.
I mean, if you're still getting paid, like, why couldn't you just say no?
Sorry?
If you were getting paid still, why couldn't you just say no?
No, so that's the thing with the contract is that if they offer me
Oh, okay.
sort of reasonable opportunity to work,
Right.
if I turn that down,
Right.
then they don't have to pay my full contracted hours. So if they have
Right,
work
so you
for
wouldn't
me
have gotten
within
paid
my
for any of this
availability.
week?
No, I still get paid for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday when I
Okay.
didn't work because they didn't have anything for me, you know?
Yeah, right.
So it's
okay.
a question of if they have something for me and I refuse to, then they can pay me less. But if they don't have anything for me and I just end up not working, they still have to pay me because, I would have worked if they found something, It's sort of typical contract stuff, but it's just the one thing that's getting me through it is that I know that it's only 2 days and then I get the weekend. I'm like, at least this week is only a 2-day work week. So
I'm interested to see the weekend if we are still in lockdown. I don't know what to expect from that.
yeah, well, I'm curious to see, what everything looks like. What's going to be locked down? What's going to be able to do? That's going to be weird.
There'll be a lot of people sneaking out if we are on lockdown.
Also,
Go to
I
their mates for
wonder
a cheeky
what
beer.
I feel like, I wonder what the restrictions will be. Like, are they going to let pubs open? Are they going to let restaurants open? I mean, I feel like if they leave it past tomorrow, that's a big rough patch because tomorrow's Thursday and the lockdown's supposed to end Friday, and all the businesses have been advertising they're coming back Friday. So
Yeah.
at this point, you've probably got people rostered on, and you've probably got people expecting a paycheck and expecting shifts. I think that would be
that's the
pretty rough
issue.
if they decide to extend the lockdown and stop those people from working. But we'll have to see.
I don't know. That's the thing. Like, when do you say? Will we find out at because our premier Mark McGowan does a 11:30 announcement every day. To be fair, it's more like 11:45. He's always late. Do you notice that he's always late? He's always like 15 minutes late. Like, I'm always at work going, all right, it's 11:30, but he won't be there for like 15 minutes. Bless his heart.
Yeah,
we love
literally.
Mark. I'm not trying to be a dick. He's great, but I wonder if they'll announce on. Do you think they'll just do that? Like on the Friday, they'll be like, okay, it's either happening or it's not. Or they'll probably say tomorrow, if there's no cases, like there's a big chance tomorrow. I don't know. Everything's so indecisive.
I feel like, the one thing that's a bit annoying is that it's not clear what is going to happen because if he comes out tomorrow and says, all right, 0 cases, then are we to expect that Friday will it lock down? If there's let's say there's not 0 cases, but let's say it's only 1 case.
Yeah.
Does that mean the lockdown's extended or can it end?
I don't know.
Who the fuck knows?
I don't know. Imagine if on Friday there's 1 and you're like, bruh.
That would be
it has to
the
be.
worst.
Like, come on. I can just see that happening. I can just see tomorrow being 0, hits Friday. We need 0 and we get 1.
I will say in terms of the future, I don't know if you saw, but just in the last week or so, ScoMo actually approved ScoMo's our prime minister. He approved the vaccine.
Scott Morrison.
Scott Morrison approved the I think it was the Pfizer vaccine, one of them, which I don't know if the Pfizer one is the most effective, but whatever. It's still a vaccine. It's still fairly effective. So he just approved that in the last week or so, and I know they've already started the rollout. I've heard in the UK the rollout's actually been very good and very successful. In the US, it hasn't been that successful, but I think they're getting there. But I mean, if you think about it, considering how good Australia has been for cases and deaths and all that sort of stuff, if we start rolling out the vaccine in the next 2 months, we might not ever have to worry about lockdown ever again. This could be our last ever lockdown. Obviously, I don't want this to be poorly aged, but
It was our first and last ever lockdown.
yeah, well, knock on wood. But the part of the trouble is part of the hope is that if the vaccine does roll out properly, and if we're able to get it in the next, if we're able to get the vaccine by March, that's potentially reason to think we will never go into lockdown again,
Hopefully. Yeah. I mean, that's if people take it, though. It's quite 50-50, I've heard from people. I spoke to a lot of people who just don't want to take it.
Yeah, it's rough when you live in a place and a state where there are so little cases because people go, why do I need to get it?
Yeah, why should I? But then something like this happens, and it's like it's so quickly it can change.
Well, maybe that's what the lockdown. And you know what? Maybe once the vaccine's available, if it happens, like if there is a community case, then they say, okay, everyone without the vaccine is locked down. And then see how many people want to get their
start playing
lockdown.
games like this. They'll open up the state borders, and they're like, you can't travel without it. You need this.
That's
you need
another
this,
thing,
you
because
need
I mean,
this.
they already say if you come in, you have to get a test and quarantine. What's to stop them saying, well, if you come in, you have to get the vaccine? We won't let anyone in our state. Let's say even if they come in and they have it, they say, okay, well, we'll vaccinate you now. So when you go through it, you won't get it again.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way to do it, because I think the way WA was working before is we were almost like a dishwasher. Like people would come in, they'd fly in, they would sort of wait out their COVID if they had it. They'd wait it out in quarantine, and then they'd be in a state where there's no COVID. So it's kind of like a way of bringing even infected people, bring them in, get them through their virus, get them sorted, and then now they're free to go and no worries, you know?
Yeah, it was really bliss. It was, and don't get me wrong, I think everyone shits on WA, and I hate it because it's such a great place.
Sandgropers, baby.
And man, yeah, literally, that's what they call us. Like, it's such a beautiful city with lovely people. We've got such a beautiful community around us, people who really care about each other. Of course, you get the odd dickheads, but still, that's anywhere. But like, you know, I'm so proud to be a part of this place, and I think people are just jealous that we went so down along without getting anything wrong with our sweet little city. Like, it's always sunny. It's always sunny in Perth, as I always say.
Yeah,
it's always sunny in Perth.
No, we've been so lucky, and it's wild to think that it's been so long. And you know what? Again, if we do end up getting through it, like through to the vaccine, and then we never have a lockdown again. I mean, 1 5-day hard lockdown, that's pretty good. You know,
we can tell our kids we went through a
lot
lockdown,
better than a lot of other places had.
Our kids will be like, so did you actually get locked down? We're like, yeah. We can say to our kids that we went through a lockdown, like an actual lockdown. They're like, how long was it? Was it years? Or
Yeah,
like,
that's right. We'll say we went through a lockdown.
I don't want to talk about it. Like,
we went through such a hard lockdown. Gosh, it was so
like the
extra.
pub,
like, wow.
The pub was closed for.
No, that's the funny thing, isn't it? It's
5 days. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
We've barely been affected by COVID, and we're so lucky to have had legit. That. I saw a really interesting article a couple of weeks ago, and you know, I don't mean to get political, but it was saying something about Wuhan, or I think it was about Wuhan. It said, it was like a profile, and it was like, oh, look at Wuhan, the world's safest city, or something like that. And I thought to myself, I was like, okay, they might have gotten rid of COVID, and they might be safe in terms of the virus, but try go in Wuhan and like protest for the independence of Hong Kong, or like
legit.
talk shit about the Chinese government, or, you know, try to speak out about human rights abuses going on. Like, safe is such a relative thing. And like, obviously I'm talking more about freedom than safety, but they're sort of one and the same. And like, yes, this lockdown has, I mean, the thing is, this lockdown has obviously cracked down on a few of our freedoms, but, I mean, it's 5 days. It's a short little sacrifice. And outside of that, we're pretty damn safe and pretty damn free. And I think that that's probably one of the best places you want to be, like like in terms of our location, but also just in terms of what other places should aim for. What we have is probably, you know, the best you can hope for.
Yeah, everyone skips over us. I've read like these articles about like the best places to be in COVID. No one ever mentions Perth. We went 10 months.
I know. Man, we always get snubbed.
We always get snubbed. No one ever talks about us. We're the most isolated city in the world, so no one talks about us.
Yeah.
But so many great people have come from this place. Like Hugh Jackman studied here, Heath Ledger, Max Mofo, How to Basic, Anything for Views. Marcus Dibble came from here. Tyler, what's his name? What's that singer? Not Tyler Oakley. Tyler, he has that song Blue Neighborhood. He has that song Blue Neighborhood. Well, anyway, he came from here. Was it Tyler? It's Tyler something. It's Troy Sivan. Sorry, Troy Sivan. He came from here.
There's a whole
So
bunch
many
of
greats.
guys. I mean, Perth is a great place. It's getting greater and greater every year.
Oh, there's
and
that
as
other
we go,
actress.
but-
There's that actress who was in Knives Out, and she was in 13 Reasons Why. I know, yak, but she was in
Oh
that
yeah,
as well.
Catherine Langford. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah, she's from Perth. You
and the
know,
guy from
like-
Stranger Things too. He's a Perth boy.
Yeah, the lifeguard in Stranger Things. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, where's the... Plus, you're forgetting the boys who run the For All Our podcasts are from there. Come on, man.
Jai Courtney is that his name? Jai Courtney.
Oh
I
yeah,
think he's
Jai
from Perth.
Jai Courtney. Jai Courtney's from Perth. All right, we forget about that one, but he studied at Whopper.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Hugh Jackman
Ah,
went to
we
Whopper
got
for a
some.
little
We
bit.
got
He's
some
not
good
from
fellas.
Perth,
We got
but
some good people.
Thank you.
No, it's
Yeah.
it's interesting why we never get the respect we deserve. And look, I understand we don't have as
No one
flashy
cares
stuff
about
as
WA.
like London does, or no. I mean, we don't even have as nice stuff as somewhere like Sydney or Victoria or whatever. I get that, but I mean, we got some good stuff. We got some nice
sake.
freaking attractions. Like,
Well, the cricket was meant to be in at Optus Stadium this week in Perth, but like it can't anymore. Sorry, yeah, this is going crazy. But
'Cause they're
no one
lockdown.
cares. Like, no one's gonna be like, that Jeremy Clarkson meme where it's like, oh no. Anyway, like that's literally them with like they don't care
Yeah.
the cricket
yeah,
isn't in Perth. They don't care. Like no one likes Perth. It's so shit.
no, it's a shame. We're really like the annoying little
Ugly
brother
ducks.
of Australia. Like we just, yeah,
Everyone
no, the
hates
rest of
us.
Aussie just kind of thinks we're twats. I mean, I on one hand I get it because we're like we're separate, like we're on the other side. You know, there's like a big strip of just empty land in the middle between us and like any other state.
It's mostly empty, isn't it?
So I understand just physically why there might be some separation, but I don't know. We're all Australians here. Our mining bloody keeps the state going. Like,
It does.
Give us
What's his fucking
some
face wants to
respect.
come in and steal it
Frankly.
all. Like, what's his name? Clive Palmer. He wants to come in every bloody week and grab WA rubber balls and milk
Yeah.
us dry.
yeah. Clive
And there's a
really
good
hates us,
reason
yeah. And
for
frankly,
it,
if we're pissing off
because-
billionaires, if we're going around and we're
Literally.
pissing off billionaires, I think we're doing something right. Like that's
We did it
if you
before
ask me.
GameStop did it. We did it before it was cool. Perth did that shit before it was cool, man.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We were telling billionaires to fuck off before it was trendy.
I have a thing to ask you. I want to know what you
Okay.
thought about Years and Years because I haven't watched it, but you finished it today.
Yeah, so we talked about.
Yeah.
I think last episode we talked about It's a Sin,
It's a
which
Sin,
is
yeah.
a British show that just came out, made by Russell T Davies about the AIDS crisis. Years and Years is also made by Russell T Davies. It's also a British show, and I didn't realize it aired on BBC One,
Yeah.
which I thought was really
Yeah, it did.
cool. Where did It's a Sin air? Was that on ITV or was that BBC?
I think ITV. It's funny. Do you know what's? I don't know. I think it's all
Just because
ready to watch.
it's always funny when you see raunchy shows and you go, would they have let that on the BBC?
Yeah, the BBC are quite BBC-y. Very, yeah.
Well,
but,
the thing is, the BBC
I'll check.
it's paid for by the people, and so if they get any complaints,
The
they
BBC
actually
love
have to
Russell.
take them seriously because it's like the
Channel
taxpayers
4.
paid for it, really.
Channel 4.
Channel 4.
Can you hear me?
Okay, so it's the same
Channel
with
4.
Channel 4. But yeah, Years and Years was BBC One, which I was really surprised by because there was actually some gay sex as well in it. Not surprising, knowing Russell and his his style.
Yeah. God bless.
But it was fantastic. It was really good. So basically, it's Years and Years. I won't give too much away, but it starts in 2019, and I think it goes up till sometime in 2030. And it
Wow.
basically, like over the whole series, and this series just keeps moving forward, and it portrays all of these crazy world events. So I think one that happens in the
COVID-19.
first episode is. Yeah, well, it's funny because they actually don't ever have it. I think in like the last episode, they start to mention, oh, there's this monkey flu going around. So they they mentioned something a little bit, but they never really touch on COVID.
Well, I think it only came out in like 2018 or something.
It came out 2019. Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, so they portray what they like to sort of portray as like these big world events. Obviously, it's predictions. So one that happens in the first episode is America blows up China, or they don't blow up China. They bomb an island that China owns, and that sort of leads to a lot of global powers being not necessarily at war, but kind of like in opposition to each other. And that obviously sets in motion a lot of things that happen over the course of the series. But what's really interesting is that the series does have a lot of that, like, not so much politics, but just like big world events that they talk about, like, oh, Trump reelected, and Mike Pence takes over Trump's job, and all this sort of like stuff. They don't. The Trump stuff's only in the first episode or two. They kind of ditch that a little bit, which I think is good. But what is really good about the show is that even though it goes over these massive events and it goes over all this time, it really manages to keep the focus on this family. And it focuses on this family and how they deal with changing world events, and also how they deal with like the economy sort of changing in really drastic ways. Like, having to change jobs or having to downgrade jobs, and, potentially having to downgrade your house, like all these things that families have to deal with. And, because it's Russell and because it's scored by Murray Gold, very epic composer, very talented. Yeah. It does have a really epic, big vibe to it. A lot of science fiction, has a lot of technology stuff going on, which, by the way, the technology stuff is not nearly as cringy as it could have been.
Great.
They started doing it in the first episode. I was like, oh, God, I hope this isn't cringy as.
Right.
Yeah, and I was really impressed by, actually, it fit very well. It felt very natural.
I'm impressed you watched the whole thing.
But it's fantastic. Like I said, I won't give anything away, but just the whole series is about the family dealing with all this stuff, and it's actually quite heartfelt. It's very relatable. It's a very good show.
Really keen to watch it.
It's very different. It's very different from It's a Sin, because It's a Sin is quite gritty and it's very small scale and it's very focused on the topic at hand, whereas Years and Years does try to be quite epic, and it follows a lot more characters in Years and Years, and it follows a lot more world events. So, what on earth are you doing?
Sorry, there's a fucking... Get the fuck... Get up!
Oh my word, Connor's bloody on a mosquito chase, I'm going to guess.
There's this damn fucking thing, I've been chasing it down.
Or cockroach or what? What are you?
Sorry. And it's not even bug spray, it's my lynx. There's this damn bug in my room. I don't know what it is, but I hate killing bugs. I hate it. I hate killing bugs. But
I know. Yeah,
I'm sorry, it's in my room. It's awful, and I can't get it out. It's like so big, I can't get it out, and I'm not good with that kind of stuff. And I hate killing things.
You need one of those fly swatters.
Oh, but it's like half the size of my palm. It's pretty big. And I just saw it then, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't want to do this, but I sprayed it with my Lynx, which is it's the Lynx Africa, but it's the white one where like you can wear it swimming. So it's not my...
So
I like it. It's not my favourite though, so I was like, oh fuck it, I'll use that one.
Used to deal with like, a lot of bugs in Africa, so...
Yeah, but anyway, I really want to watch it. I really do want to watch it. I'm currently... So
Connor...
I'm currently rewatching.
This is like the first time that
we must have
there's been a Russell T Davies show that I've watched and you haven't.
Yeah. Sorry, we had a bit of technical difficulties there. Yeah, that is true. But you hadn't seen It's a Sin. Wait. You can't hear me, can you? No. What's going on? Can you not hear me?
Are you there?
Oh, no. No. Hang on.
Oh, dear.
Fuck's sake.
I hadn't. Yeah, that's right. I hadn't. But I've watched it now, and now I've watched both. I can hear you now. Can you hear me now still? Ah! Oh boy. That's a technical difficulty. I'm going to call him back and we'll see if we can get him back on the air, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, there has been a cutout on the For a Laugh podcast stream. This is not something we've dealt with before on the show. What soundbite would be?
Bruh.
Yeah, that's pretty appropriate.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Oh God, why is technology so hard? I feel like the grandma in Years and Years right now, which is a reference that you'd get if you'd watch the show, audience at home. Although she does kind of learn how to use technology towards the end of the series, but at the start she's pretty clueless, which anyone would be. I'm calling Conor, but he ain't picking up. So either it's an internet issue on my end, or it's an internet issue on his end. If I can't get him on the phone, I might just have to wrap up the episode there. Unfortunately, that is not ideal. It's not what I want to be doing. Oh, there he is. Oh, Conor, I was just giving a half wrap up. I was nearly going to send the audience home. I don't know. What happened with you?
I don't know, because I was like talking to you and then you started talking about something else and I was like, why is he wrapping up when I'm trying to say something? And then I asked you a question, you couldn't hear me. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you cut out for me as well, so I was just guessing.
Man.
No, that's okay.
All right, I'm back. But no, yeah, it is the first Russell show. To answer your question, it's the first Russell show that you've watched with before me. But I was saying that I've watched It's a Sin before you, so there you go.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think you should watch it. It's on SBS. It's a great show. It's a great watch. And yeah, the score. I like. Did you like the music from It's a Sin? Like Murray Gold's score?
Of course.
I think Murray. It was good, but I think it was quite like subtle. You know. I think he held back, which I think he needed to do for that show. But in Years and Years, like Murray Gold's score just goes bang, like it just hits you right. It just goes for the jugular, and it's good. It's very, very good. Yeah, I think that one of the things I kept thinking when we were watching, I kept saying this to Kath, I was like, British shows are so good. Like, why don't we have this level of content output in Australia? Like, why are there not more opportunities?
There's something about them.
Why don't they incentivize this? You know, we have creators here that could absolutely output good shit.
There's just, I don't know, there's something so warm about a British show. Like, look at Gavin and Stacey, for example. Like,
absolutely. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, I was saying to Kath the other day, Gavin and Stacey is so good at being so funny in like just the small amount of episodes it has. And there are a lot of British shows like that. They know how to harness short content. And that's the other thing that proves it too. Like, why can't the ABC or SBS or even like 7 or 9 or 10 just fund some Australian TV shows? They don't even have to be that long. They can be 6, 10, 12 episodes max. Just make a bunch and just make them really good.
I don't know. Apparently,
put them on Netflix.
My mum was watching this. Oh, great. Sorry, I thought my mum watched this show and she's like, she's kind of like, you know, I really like British shows. Like, but she said there's this TV show on ABC. I'll have to let you know what it's called. And it's an Australian-made one. Apparently, that's really good. I want to see more of it. You know, I'm not here to trash all Australian shows, but Christ,
yeah,
you can instantly. They always had that like. They always had that kind of like. Like they always have to. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the set design or like it. You can always just tell if it's an American or TV show or a Australian TV show. Like the house looks too clean.
Another drink, but keep talking.
Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. But anyway, sorry about trying to kill that bug on my floor. I don't know where it's gone, which upsets me because now I'm like, for fuck's sake, like, is it? Am I gonna wake up in the middle of the night with it on my face or something and I'll scream? Probably. I'm literally out of breath now from that because it was quite intense. Quite frankly, it was quite intense.
Is that right?
That damn bug, man.
One thing that I always say to Kath, if she's ever worried about bugs or spiders, I'm like, don't worry, you probably swallow a bunch every year anyway. So
that's a myth, though. I just get told that.
I say it
I
because
just
it
got told you
freaks her
swore
out,
like 8
but
spies in your lifetime.
I've heard that.
You
I
get
don't
told
know
you
if
swore
that's
like 8
true.
spies. That can't be right.
And even if it's not, I like to use it to tease Kath and make her, pissed off.
Look, I'm sure you do at some point in your life
Swallow
a bug.
You must, because yeah, they would crawl on shit that you eat unless you're really careful. Unless you're like a super germaphobe.
No, I meant while sleeping. I meant while sleeping. Like, surely you must at one point in your life.
At some point,
like,
you
swallow
must
a bug.
sleep with your mouth open. It must crawl in,
I do.
and in your sleep, you just, and just eat it.
Do you ever wake up with a bit of dribble on your pillow, where like your mouth's been open?
Yeah.
Yeah, like your mouth is open, man.
Yeah, it's got to
like-
be. Yeah.
It happens. Like, Dan, I have a.
And animals
I
are,
have some good news. We
dogs
hit
are
a
curious
milestone.
creatures. Oh
We
yeah,
hit
what's
a
the milestone?
Dan. We
Tell
hit
me.
1K listens on 50%.
Wow.
I'm proud of that. It's not bad. Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I also want to say, well, obviously Dan's joining us tomorrow for Unicorn and the Wasp.
Yes. Guest
I'm probably gonna watch that after this podcast. I feel bad because Mitchell said, to be fair, I never agreed to it. Mitch said that we should do a movie night tonight. I don't think I can. He wants to do a FaceTime.
Yeah, Mitch said that.
Movie night. You agreed. I didn't. You agreed.
I didn't agree. I said I would be up
You did.
for
You said
it.
that sounds great. Yeah. Tonight's not a great night for me.
Yeah, I
Uh-oh.
think it's a
Dad,
great night for me either.
Dad, see, look, Dan's the one who agreed to it. I just sent a Larry David gif. I just sent a Larry David gif of him doing the, I don't know, and like,
Yeah,
I
I
never
mean-
agreed to it. So
I hope we can do a movie night on Saturday. There, I said it. Why can't that happen? Hey?
like, actually meet up or do it through FaceTime because we're going to be in lockdown still.
well, that depends if we're allowed to meet up. But if we are, why not?
Yeah, that'll be good. Also, how are you going to watch Unicorn and the Wasp? Because I'm probably going to watch it after this. If you're working tomorrow, and you have to watch it, by the way.
Yeah.
That's my rule with guests. They have to watch it.
Obviously,
Whatever
I'm not just
episode
going to
you're
go
coming
by
for.
memory. I'll either watch it when I
I
get
could
home.
if I wanted to, but still.
When do you guys record?
Probably about 7:30 tomorrow.
Okay, so I'll have time to watch it before. Otherwise, what I'll do is I'll watch it at work. I'll have like, how long is an episode? 45 minutes? I'll have like 5
Yeah.
9-minute shits and I'll just watch while I'm on the toilet.
Perfect.
Yeah.
See, I have to do that sometimes if
Yeah.
I'm like, I've never missed. By the way, fun fact behind the scenes, I've never recorded an episode without watching the episode. I've always gotten it, but I've had some
good.
tight
That's how it should be.
deadlines. I've had some tight deadlines. Like I had to watch the second part of Poison Sky. I had to watch that shit like the last 15, 20 minutes of that in
Yeah.
like the work van.
I remember
And it was
Fear
not
Her.
pleasant
I
on my
watched most
phone.
of it on my phone. Yeah, I watched most of Fear Her on my phone and then I watched the last bit of it on the TV.
Because you did Gridlock last. That was a long time
I
ago.
watched Gridlock. I watched all of it on the TV, and then I hope Unicorn and the Wasp I can watch it on the TV because it's such a crap episode that it's kind of you need to.
I like it. I've always liked it. I've always found it so like unique.
We'll see how I feel about it tomorrow. That'll be an exclusive
Yeah,
teaser for you folks.
I think it's unique. Poor Mitchell was not watching anything tonight with either of us, even though Dan agreed to. Poor Mitch. I do feel for him, but it's just not the right night. I can't. I've got so much I've got to.
I know
do
I got
after
stuff
this.
to do. Well, I wasn't expecting to go to work tomorrow, so I can't really do a late night tonight either.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I do
when
feel
work
bad,
calls,
though.
eh?
I do feel bad though. I mean, luckily I didn't agree to it like Dan did, but still.
Fuck
You literally
you.
agreed. You're like, that sounds great. That sounds great, man. I was like, shit, Dan.
I said it sounds great. That doesn't mean I agreed. I just meant it sounded like a good idea.
Unfortunately,
Sounded like
and
a
I
good
mean this a
idea that
peace
I
and
was
love.
unavailable to join.
Like Ethan would say, I mean, it's a peace and love. But Mitchell has been like, he's alone and he has not had to work. And I've been working since Monday. I'm fucking tired. I've been doing a podcast every night. I like at the end of the night to fucking crack open a beer and just chill out. Like, and I
Yeah.
like a bit of alone time. I do feel really bad for
yeah,
him, and that's
me
really
too.
bad of me to say that, but still.
No, I'm
What
like
did you
that
say,
as well.
sorry?
And sometimes that causes friction with Kath because I'm like that too. Sometimes I just like a bit of time to myself, just to chill, have
Yeah,
a
it's
beer,
like,
and just
man, yeah, like
relax.
I feel really bad though because he is alone.
Yeah, I mean, look, next week he'll have
you
work
know.
to keep him busy and to tire him out, and look, hopefully next week we'll be able to even go over and see him. So
Yeah, look, if the restrictions drop on Friday, it's the first place I'm going to go is to go see him.
yeah,
And we'll crack a beer. It'll be like nothing ever happened. And normally I only see him once on the weekday anyway. Like, I don't actually
Yeah.
really see him until the weekend. So only day I would have been seeing him was tonight. So do I feel bad? I do, but sometimes you got to look after yourself a little bit. I think it sounds really bad, but I don't know.
no, look, in lockdown you gotta look out for whoever you lock down with, innit?
I've been working all today. Like, I just want to sit back. I want to watch some Doctor Who. I want to have a beer. Like, I just want to chill out. Like, just want to chill out.
Well, cheers to that, my friend.
Yeah, cheers, bro. Thanks for this lockdown edition. Hopefully next time
thanks
we
for these lockdown shows. Cheers, man.
hopefully next time we film, we can be in a bloody studio.
Yes, in a studio together, even if we have to mask up.
Maybe. Fuck.
Yeah, we'll see.
Probably.
We'll see.
Dude, the future is so uncertain. Like, let's just hope to God we don't have to fucking film the 100th episode in lockdown. But hey, only time will
Jesus.
tell.
Well, hopefully the vaccine will be
Yeah.
out by then.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thank you,
We love you
everybody.
all.
Peace and love.
We will always love you. Peace and love.
Stay safe,
Peace
everyone.
and love. Thank you so much for everyone
Take
watching.
care of yourself,
and we'll
y'all,
see you.
and take care of yourself,
We will
Conor.
see you next time, hopefully, in the studio. Sorry? Uh-oh, Dan's paused at the last second.
I'm playing you off.
Oh, got away. Okay. All right.
No,
bye.
I'm joking. I was
Bye,
just saying,
everyone.
take care of yourself. Yeah.
Thanks, mate. You too. I'll talk to you when we
All
stop
right.
recording. Bye.
Cheers, homie.
See ya.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, everyone. See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Peace and love.